An incredible story continues to unfold at SeaWorld of California in San Diego. It's a story that is helping rewrite the textbooks on gray whales. And it's changing forever the way people see these magnificent, elusive animals. The J.J. story began January 10th, 1997, when an exhausted gray whale calf was spotted rolling in the surf off the Southern California coast. Authorized by the National Marine Fisheries Service, volunteers transported the near comatose gray whale calf to SeaWorld. National Marine Fisheries Service agreed that SeaWorld was the one place on the west coast of North America capable of caring for and rehabilitating the undernourished, dehydrated orphan.
The animal is in pretty weak condition. It's dehydrated. It's very short on energy resources, energy supplies. It's very thin. The prognosis for full recovery is no better than poor at this point.
In the days following the rescue, SeaWorld animal care staff, encouraged by the whale's progress, upgraded her condition from poor to guarded. The calf registered a steady weight gain and exhibited a strong suckling reflex. SeaWorld was optimistic that the calf would eventually be able to nurse rather than relying on a stomach tube. On January 17th, after 6 days of care by a watchful crew of surrogate mothers, the whale finally received a name.
We named J.J. in honor of Judy Jones. Judy Jones was the director of the Friendless Sea Lion, a stranding center in Southern California. Judy unfortunately died recently. Judy had spent over 12 years of her life working with stranded seals and sea lions. We at SeaWorld felt it was appropriate to name our gray whale in Judy's honor.
By her third week of round-the-clock care, J.J. was steadily gaining weight at the rate of 20 pounds a day. The animal care staff invented the first nursing device for an animal this size. A thick-walled rubber tube connected to a piece of flexible PVC pipe attached to an insulated 3-gallon container. Immediately adapting to the creation, J.J. consumed 2 gallons of warm formula in a matter of minutes. Since SeaWorld specialists no longer had to enter the water every few hours to tube feed the calf, the water level in J.J.'s pool was raised. The calf seemed to relish her new environment and continued to respond positively to her care. News media from around the globe enthusiastically followed her progress, and cards and letters from children around the nation poured in.
Tonight you will see how some very dedicated people are working around the clock to save the life of a baby whale. And it's not that easy, as Kira Phillips found out when she traveled to San Diego's SeaWorld.
Dear baby whale, I hope you're feeling stronger. I hope you find your mother soon. Jessica.
This fan club is amazing. 90 calls an hour, all these letters, cards. What do you think is probably the cutest thing that's come in here?
Well, you got these love letters to JJ the other day.
Finally tonight, school children and adults from all over the county are sending get well wishes to JJ. You know, the orphaned whale?
These are just some of the hundreds of cards and letters that SeaWorld has received in the past week. Most of the letter writers express a new appreciation for gray whales and words of support for the staff caring for the orphaned whale.
SeaWorld is swamped with get well cards and letters, most addressed to the baby gray whale.
We get a stack every day, at least one stack every day. With this particular JJ, we were just very surprised with the amount of care and concern from everybody, not just in this state, but all over the country.
By mid-February, the calf, nearly 2,700 pounds and more than 15 feet long, had outgrown her medical pool. With the approval of National Marine Fisheries Service, JJ was moved to a 1.7 million gallon pool inside the park.
Welcome back. JJ, the beach baby whale, is growing up awfully fast, and now she has a spacious new home to swim around in. Take a look at her new digs. JJ moved into this 1.7 million gallon tank this past week. Now, SeaWorld has cared for JJ ever since she washed ashore in Marina del Rey.
JJ, the baby gray whale, is getting used to her new home at SeaWorld.
The orphaned gray whale was growing so fast and doing so well, SeaWorld officials needed to find her new digs. She was moved to a bigger tank just Friday night, but already trainer says she's acting like she's feeling right at home.
She's known as JJ, the baby gray whale, but JJ isn't so small anymore.
Since she was rescued off the coast of Marina del Rey last month, JJ has been gaining about 1.5 pounds every hour. So today, SeaWorld moved JJ from a small dolphin pool to the Shamu backstage area. It kicked out Shamu and 5 other killer whales from that pool.
I think that it would be potentially unwise to put her in with the killer whales, because killer whales in the wild do prey and feed on gray whales, and of course if she's going to make it back in the wild, we don't want her to think that killer whales are something to be friendly with.
Among those here to see her, an LA lifeguard who helped remove the sick whale from a Los Angeles beach 5 weeks ago.
This is the first time I've seen the whale since it was laying on the beach, lethargic, barely breathing, semi-comatose, and in shock.
He's amazed at how well she's doing. Caretakers who first thought she couldn't survive now say she'll eventually go free.
SeaWorld education specialists fielded questions from park guests who now were able to come face-to-face with a gray whale. The park became the first facility in the world in which researchers could study an infant baleen whale in such detail. Previously accepted data regarding the development and nutritional needs of young gray whales became outdated as JJ continued to amaze researchers and guests alike with her rapid growth. Jim Sumich of Grossmont College in San Diego conducts research on gray whale respiration, enlisting JJ's cooperation. His findings on this subject contribute to additional areas of gray whale knowledge such as growth, metabolic rates, and nutritional demands placed on a nursing gray whale mother. Sumich's findings so far indicate that the widely held growth statistics for calves in their first 6 months are erroneous. With JJ's help, Sumich has developed a formula for determining gray whale growth using, among other data, JJ's oxygen consumption rate.
The breathing and ventilatory mechanics studies that we've done so far look very much like what we've gotten with other calves in lagoon situations. The difference is that we've been able to get much better samples, greater number of samples, and much longer breath hold samples than we've ever been able to do in the wild.
To answer constant questions about the progress of the whale, SeaWorld added an internet site at www.seaworld.org where people could see JJ live. In addition to the live video of the calf, the site also includes current press releases about her progress. As the largest animal ever cared for at SeaWorld, JJ's time in San Diego is limited. The goal of the park's animal rescue program is to take animals in distress, rehabilitate them, and prepare them for return to the ocean. Park animal care specialists now have turned their efforts toward getting her ready to live on her own. Perhaps the most important element of JJ's reintroduction into the wild will be her ability to feed. The SeaWorld animal care staff is encouraging JJ to develop her bottom feeding ability by adding a carefully weighed amount of squid, krill, and small fish into her pool. After several hours, any remaining food is removed and weighed to determine how much of the solid food she is consuming.
Right now we're at a point where we're starting to wean her, and so she's periodically being fed the solid food. Sometimes she's not terribly interested in it, but a lot of times she does come up and you can feed her, right at the surface. We also throw some food down on the bottom of the pool and let her learn to pick it up off the bottom. And she's doing a little bit of both as far as eating at the surface and then also going down kind of in between feeds and snacking on some of the squid and fish that we leave for her.
Her formula has also been altered to reflect her changing nutritional needs. Once composed in part of heavy whipping cream and powdered milk, JJ is now taking a concoction of pureed fish and krill. The goal of animal care is to wean the calf from the formula completely this fall. Another important adjustment for JJ in the wild will be identifying other gray whales and joining the northerly migration when she is reintroduced in late March or early April. The panel of experts who recommended the early spring release for the whale also emphasized the importance of JJ being able to recognize gray whale sounds. Dr. Ann Bowles of the Hub SeaWorld Research Center studied JJ's vocalization patterns and noted that recordings of the calf's calls and clicks revealed holes in her vocabulary. Her sounds were not as varied as the other gray whale vocalizations Dr. Bowles had collected.
A one-of-a-kind experiment is underway at SeaWorld, and if it's successful, it may help JJ the gray whale survive when she's reintroduced to the wild. Our Bill Menish has the story.
She does gain about
each day.
They come in droves.
There she is. See her nose over there?
No.
Hundreds of thousands since she arrived in mid-January
JJ's a baleen whale.
to see the only gray whale in captivity.
Look at the fishy.
He was swimming in the ocean and he got lost from his mommy.
For the public, it's a unique view, but it's much more for Dr. Ann Bowles.
No one has ever done anything like this with a baleen whale.
Here's what she's talking about. Listen. They are subtle. To most, it sounds like water noises. But they are baleen whale calls recorded in lagoons off Baja California.
Obviously, the most important goal is to prepare JJ for life out there in the real world.
And they believe getting her accustomed to whale calls will help. It's like teaching her a language. Simple stuff she needs to survive.
Who you are, where you are, how far away you are from other individuals, what kind of a mood you're in, that's extremely important in animals.
Well, JJ's mood must be good. Those are recorded responses from JJ. She also associates the sound of other whales with food, and it's taken a while for her to learn that. Now, no one can predict how JJ will do when she's released this spring.
But she's grown faster and stayed healthier than anyone could have ever imagined. And if that continues, JJ will leave here big and fat, and that ought to help her chances.
And as a graduate of SeaWorld's language studies, she'll have a better shot at communicating in her real world.
Hearing is another area of gray whale physiology being examined with an eye toward JJ's ability to survive on her own. Dr. Sam Ridgway of the U.S. Navy is conducting tests to determine her oral sensitivity at different levels. Since sound travels 5 times faster underwater than it does through the air, the influence of sound on a whale's ability to navigate or avoid predators may be more profound than previously thought. Dr. Ridgway employs testing techniques similar to those used to test babies' hearing, measuring the effects of sound through minute electrical changes in the surface of the body.
We know nothing about the large baleen whales. We think they hear much lower frequency sounds, sounds that travel much further in the sea, and sounds that we need to be concerned about the effects on the animals at sea. It's an absolutely unique opportunity because we've just recently had the computer techniques developed to enable us to do an audiogram on an animal like this.
Although JJ will only be at SeaWorld for a few more months, the information she is teaching us will be an important addition to marine mammal research forever. She is giving scientists, educators, and the public an unprecedented learning opportunity as her story continues to unfold at SeaWorld of California.